Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another nature story time. Our story time today is going to be about the stars. So I just spent most of the month of August up in or around the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, and that area is very special. It's called a dark sky sanctuary. So it's super remote, it's far away from everything. There's not a lot of lights and buildings or roads, so it's very dark there. And you can see tons and tons of stars. We were lucky enough to be there when there was a meteor shower, so we saw shooting stars or meteors. You can sometimes see the northern lights if you're lucky, and you can see the Milky Way going across the sky. So it is a very special experience to be able to see stars from a dark sky sanctuary. If you've never been able to do that, I recommend you put it on your bucket list because it is spectacular. But our story today is all about looking at the stars. This book is called Star Party, and it was written and illustrated by some women that live up near the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. So they are very familiar with what that night sky looks like up there. And I thought this was such a fun book. So we're going to read Star Party. It was written by Polly Carlson-Voiles and illustrated by Kanzi Powell. There's some different night animals hiding on some of the pages, so I'll try to get you a up-close look. And the main character in the book, I have to say, has a really good name. Star Party. Grandma looked out the cabin windows. "A perfect night for a party," she exclaimed, smiling at Grandpa. Grandpa caught Grandma's look, raised his eyebrows, and started collecting pillows and blankets. "What?" Nora asked. "After dark? At the cabin? In the woods?" she thought. "What kind of a party?" "Pajamas are required," said Grandma. "Can I stay up late?" "You absolutely have to," Grandpa boomed. Grandma packed 3 cups, a thermos of hot chocolate, and some ginger cookies they'd made that afternoon. When they stepped out, the screen door slapped shut behind them. Dark settled like a soft paw. The woods grew blacker, then black. Nora stood very still. She loved the feel of Grandpa's large, square hand. Together, they started down the steps. Okay, there's a lot of night critters hiding on these pages. How many can you find? I see a Luna moth. I see a little mouse, some fireflies, a frog, another firefly over here on the leaf, something up in the tree. On the path, Grandma led the way. Yellow cones from their flashlights crisscrossed in the trees. Dew from the bushes dampened Nora's knees. Her sandals squeaked in the wet grass. A soft whoosh flew over their heads and thwapped against a tree. The enormous eyes of a flying squirrel looked back. A lot of people don't know that in Minnesota and Wisconsin, we have flying squirrels here. Sometimes I night hike on my trail out in the back of my house, and if I bring my flashlight, I can sometimes see them. I also think they live in my attic, but that's a different story. "Listen," whispered Grandma, stopping on the path. An owl called. "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you?" Another answered. Soon the dark silver lake shimmered through an opening in the trees. Bats cut the air in zigzags. Breezes ruffled leaves. The tangled bushes quivered with shadows. One loon wailed, saying, "Where are you? Where are you?" A 3-note call answered from down the lake. I'm right here. Are they coming to the party too? Asked Nora. They always do, answered Grandpa, squeezing her hand. As they stepped onto the dock, their feet drummed. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Grandpa said, "Look up." When she did, Nora wobbled on legs like jelly. If she didn't hold tight to Grandma's and Grandpa's hands, could she fall up into the stars that were farther than far? Grandma spread the blankets and pillows on the dock. Grandpa said quietly, "Welcome to your very first star party." Mirrored in the lake, stars pulsed and danced. A sound like a rubbed balloon was followed by a splash. A frog. Another answered, then another. Some stars streaked like fireworks. "Look," said Nora, "stars are falling." "Meteors," said Grandma. "There's another one," said Grandpa. "Oh, and over there," said Nora, holding her warm cup of cocoa, feeling the sweet bite of ginger on her tongue. Nora snuggled down, then jumped up again. "Stars are floating in the water," she said. She threw out her arms. "I'm flying between two skies. They look just the same. Water stars, lakes of sky." Then it seemed even the frogs were quiet. "Why don't we see stars like this at home?" Nora asked. "Because light from houses and streetlights and buildings keep us from seeing the dark skies above," said Grandpa. Silently, Nora pointed at a glittering scarf of light thrown across the sky. "The Milky Way," said Grandma. "Could each prick of light really be a star?" "The stars are so far away. Do they ever come down to Earth?" asked Nora. Grandpa said, "Scientists say life is made from stuff that came from distant stars." "Maybe I'm part of a star," Nora said, taking a breath and spinning around. "Everything is," said Grandma. "Even bats?" asked Nora. "Even bats," Grandpa said. "I like this party. Just us under a gazillion trillion stars," said Nora, snuggling down again. "Just us," said Grandpa, "and the night-loving animals." "And the fireflies," said Grandma, pointing at sparks among the trees. A chorus of wails and laugh-like tremolos bounced from shore to shore. "And the loons," giggled Nora. A loud slap hit the water. "And the beavers." "But wait, do people all over the world have star parties?" Nora asked. "I think so. On mountaintops, by lakes, and in deserts, in countries all around the world where the skies are dark enough," said Grandpa. "Even Siberia?" asked Nora. "Definitely Siberia," Grandpa said. "Just like us?" Nora asked. Grandma laughed. "Just like us," she said, pulling Nora close. Nora imagined kids around the whole world, kids like her, gathered in pockets of darkness, blacker than black, watching dots of light farther than far. How all of them, held firmly on the back of planet Earth, sailed and sailed together through oceans and oceans of stars. And that's the end of the story, but there is some really awesome information in the back of this book, so I'm going to read you what's in the back. It says Night Sky Notes. Nocturnal animals. Nocturnal means animals that are active at night. This story features a number of nocturnal animals of northern lakes and forests. Usually, they are not seen, but if we go out like Nora and her grandparents, we might hear frogs calling, the wail of a loon, the rustle of a deer walking, the thwop as a flying squirrel lands on a tree. Go outside at night, and what do you hear? Nocturnal animals have reasons for being out at night. Why do you think they love night so much? See if you can find all the night-loving animals in this book. So there was a beaver, a deer mouse, a flying squirrel, a little brown bat, barred owl, common loon, green frog, leopard frog, gray tree frog, firefly, dragonfly larva, luna moth, orb weaver spider, and a fishing spider. Ooh, I didn't point out all those, so you could go back and look for those on the pages. Observing the night sky. Star parties can happen anywhere where there is very little light pollution, from a dock, lakeshore, or any open area. The website for the International Dark Sky Association has maps and lists to help you find the dark sky designated areas closest to where you live. Enrich the experience with the use of a sky map, a good beginner telescope, binoculars, or a camera. You may see events and objects like stars, meteors, aurora borealis, or the northern lights, constellations, comets, planets, satellites, the galaxy we belong to, which is the Milky Way, and different phases of the moon. Light pollution. Sky glow is artificial brightness of the night sky caused by light pollution. Light pollution from businesses, streetlights, and homes prevent more than 80% of the world's population from seeing the Milky Way's billions of stars. Constellations. Constellations are clusters of stars that seem grouped together in the sky. They rise and set in the sky like the sun and the moon. Also, different constellations are seen in different seasons. Astronomers could tell you why. For thousands of years, people around the world have watched the same sky we see. Stars and constellations have been used for navigation on the oceans and may help migrating birds find their way across the world. And for thousands of years, people have named the constellations. As many as 42 constellations have been named for animals. A few examples are Taurus, the bull, Cancer, crab, Cygnus, the swan, Canis Major, the dog, and Lupus, the wolf. The Ursa Major, or Big Bear constellation, is also commonly known as the Big Dipper. Two of its stars are used to locate the North Star, a star always important for navigation. You might know it as Polaris. People in different parts of the world have named constellations with images and words unique to their own cultures and languages. Ursa Major, Big Bear, or Big Dipper, has been called the Plow, the Great Wagon, Saptarishi, Ogeeg, I don't know if I'm saying that one right, the Fisher, and the Saucepan, to give a few examples. Dark skies. The International Dark Sky Association designates places where skies have been ranked as the darkest, with the most stars visible. People around the world can travel to these places to see stars in their full splendor. The International Dark Sky Association also educates people about how to protect dark skies by adjusting lighting to limit sky glow. So there are certain things we can do with the lights on our houses, especially our outdoor lights if you have any, that will help protect our skies from light pollution, or it will help to reduce light pollution and allow us to see more of the stars, and allow the animals that use them to navigate to see more of the stars. In September 2020, the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in Minnesota was named as one of 13 dark sky sanctuaries, starring as the largest in the world with 1,098,000 acres. Two other areas, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota and Quetico Provincial Park across the border in Canada, are also designated as dark sky sanctuaries. All three together make up the largest region of dark sky sanctuaries. The inspiration for this story was a cabin on the very edge of this spectacular wilderness area. So that's pretty cool. I have maybe seen one other place where I would compare the stars to the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. So if you ever get the chance, check out the Dark Sky Association and look at their map of dark sky places where you might be able to go to get a really good view of some dark skies. Or if you're ever traveling anywhere else, it's always fun to see if there's some near where you're going, especially if you are going to any of the national parks out west. Check out the dark sky sanctuaries. So that's our story for today. I hope that as our days are getting shorter and night comes sooner, that you might go out to see some stars. You could find an open area near your house and have your very own star party after dark. But I'll also put some resources down below with some good star guides and apps that you might want to use to help you identify stars. And we hope to see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.